RcHelpDotCom. I'm Tony, and in the last steps you watched me put the head together, including setting up all the linkages to the proper length. There's all two of them. And then we put the frame together in part 3. Part 4, we put the tail boom together. We got our bearing actually CA'd to the torque tube in here, and basically the tail's ready to go on to the frame, and we're going to get there in this video. In this video, as you can see, we're going to be putting the head in, getting it shimmed up, getting the main gear put in. We're going to be putting on our 3 swash links. Down here, it wants you to use the R48, the green stuff, and basically secure that into the one-way holder. I'm pretty sure it's already like that, but we're going to double check it because some things are done, some things are not done on this one, and you need to double check everything. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get these linkages set up. Now, just like with these links here on the head, we're going to need to hold these with a pair of pliers, get our micrometer out over here, and measure them out. From center to center on the holes, we're going to be going for 32.5 millimeters. All 3 of your swash links are the exact same length. So you can set your deal to 32.5, and then you can shut it off to save your battery and do all 3 of them. 32.5, right on the money. Make sure you do not grab onto the threads and screw your ends on. Once you get close, take a measurement. That is right on the money. 2 more times. As you can see, we got all 3 of them done. Bring this over, pull the head assembly out, and we can go ahead and just snap these onto the swash. Don't forget, that little A has to face out. Once it's on, go ahead and check, make sure that they're secure, but they're not binding. Every one of these feels really good. Alright, now what we're going to do, we got our 2 shims here that actually come up here on the main shaft. We're going to just put the main shaft in and check it with the main gear and see just how much play we have. For that, we need to get our main gear. Now on your main gear, you've got a little brass washer. We pull this apart. Here's your auto rotation gear, the main sleeve that goes in the middle of it. And like I said, we're going to need to check this to make sure that's in there, and it is. It's already locked in tight. We don't need to put anything else on it. Now we can check and make sure that this thing is going to actually lock just with your finger. Put your auto rotation gear back on, line the hole back up, put your shim back on the top, slide this into the frame. It's going to be the tightest fitting main gear I've ever seen. Take your head, slide it down through the main gear. Now we'll reline our hole up, turn our head to where we can see some daylight, and then push your bolt through, or screw it in, whichever way you need to do it. Once you get your bolt in there, check and see how much play you have. I have no shims in this, and I have no play at all. The head still spins free. We don't have to use those. This thing is, I mean, I'm talking, it was tight going into the frame, and it's tight right here. And the best thing is, no wobble. I like it. Now, we need to put a little bit of thread lock down there on that bolt, and then get our nut and stick it down there and tighten it up. Don't tighten that bolt very tight, or you'll warp that auto rotation gear. What I like to do is tighten it down until you feel it getting snug, and then back it off about a 1/4 turn. Then spin the head and check that auto rotation gear. Looks good to me. That clicking you heard was it hitting a wire. I can live with that. Alright, before we put our anti-rotation bracket on, let's go ahead and get the tail on. If you remember in the last video, we put these screws in with thread lock, but we didn't tighten them so that we can still move them. We also didn't tighten down this bracket. So now we need to fold these down, or up, whichever way you're looking at it. You need to get this tail boom set in there. Gently spread the case halves apart. Make sure your gear's lining up. And then once those little brackets fall into the hole on both sides, we can go ahead and grab some screws and start tightening all this down. Remember, torque tube, there's no belt tension. However, there's going to be a bunch of thread lock. Now that that's on, we're going to kind of jump ahead, and we're going to go ahead and get these landing skids put on so we can secure these night head bars. When putting this on with the landing skids on, you may have to grab here and squeeze to get it to go over the sides of the frame. Don't forget, the ones that go into your night head are actually going to be just a little bit longer than the ones that go up here in the front brackets. I'm just backing these off so that I don't scratch up my tail boom. Now if yours is like mine, you're going to have to do some playing with this center bracket to get everything to line up to where you can tighten it down. But a little bit of playing, she went right in. Alright, as you can see, we got the boom attached to the frame, we got all of our screws in, and we got our landing skids on so that it can set up like an actual helicopter. Now, we need to break open the 450 Henry Boy 10, get our anti-rotation bracket out, and go ahead and get it set on there. Remember, we're going into plastic, no thread lock, and do not over tighten them. Oh, we almost got a helicopter going here. So guys, in this video, we pretty much made this thing look like a helicopter. Finally. We got our tail boom put on, we got our night head bar secured, we got our landing gears put on, and we got our head installed. Now, one issue that I've noticed is this auto rotation gear is really tight, and I don't know how well that's going to work out. We're going to see if it'll actually wear in, because remember, I got no shims in here, so either it'll wear in or we're going to have to come in and loosen these screws up on these bearing blocks and actually squeeze the blocks together to give this thing a little bit more room to loosen that up. Not a big deal. It's not a big deal at all. Not right now. Could turn into a big deal. So guys, hopefully you learned something. In the next video, we're going to be installing the motor, speed control, and basically setting up our gear mesh, things like that. I will have to remove the servos to get to these bolts for the motor, but I need to remove it anyway because I forgot to pull this arm up and the arm's locked down in there. So hey, one issue is actually a solution. Guys, hope you join me in the next video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Come over to the forum if you need any help, and we'll help you with anything: cars, trucks, boats, airplanes, helicopters, hovercraft, doesn't matter. Come over. We are RC Help, your RC information source. I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.